Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Allegro Africa podcast. This is episode 16. I can't wait for us to get to episode 20. I'm taking episode 20 more. Hi guys, and on this episode, I wrote this intro down. I have a radio personality, radio DJ, radio owner, a radio pioneer, entertainment pioneer, music consultant, events organizer, entertainment pioneer, did I mention that? Communications trainer and mentor, and an entrepreneur, ladies and gentlemen. That is only to mention but a few. Ntate Tello Dallas, the one and only Dallas T.
Yo.
Have you ever been introduced like that?
Hey, man.
Nah?
It's humbling.
The thing is, you have done a whole lot.
Yeah.
And as I was going through your profile, I was like, no, this is actually a good way by bailing a day. But I've realized to actually acknowledge some of the things that you have been done. You did that. What type of impact do you think you've made to this industry?
Thank you. Give me that as well. Thank you. Impact.
How you're like, what I did is this. This is what's happening now.
When I see people, let me tell you the story.
Sure.
Each time I roam around town and I come across people, or I switch on the TV, or I go to social media and I see people and their achievements, and I remember my contribution to those people's careers and lives and whatnot. When I see Allegro doing like one of the fanciest and most spontaneous podcast, when I see Skizo doing his thing, and I remember the Zagro DJs, and I remember my contribution to that. So to me, it's not really about me, but what I have bestowed upon people's lives. That's what matters.
Then it gives you that satisfaction
to just keep moving on.
You started at Radio Lesotho. Is it correct to say so?
Yeah. Radio Lesotho back in 2000 as an intern. From there, then I came back in 2002. Permanently employed.
Nice.
The story behind that. I was in Pretoria at that time.
Nice.
So I submit dipampiri. So ne ke batla mosebetsi no sena mosebetsi Lesotho mona. So ne ke ya marketing ya Radio Lesotho mane mehlaena. Ebe ha ba ntse ba tswa ke ntse ke thusa ba bang ntse ke rongwa ke lo reka bo makweng ya bolantshi boeng. Ebe ntse ke eme mono ntse ke re please ke kopa monyetla.
How
ke batla kena ka studio fela just to
I see.
Because remember in 98 I spent some time in Cape Town doing a bridging course, and at that time I get crushed different TV, radio stations. Kena Good Hope FM, and then I met one of the coolest dudes there, station manager.
Nice.
But I've got deep passion for radio. So it's cool. I just want to see the operations and whatnot. So he let me do that.
Nice.
Even back at Flipside Records in Pretoria, I did the same thing. I also did the same thing at YFM.
Records.
Yes. And at Y High Lonchua, I did the same thing back in 99. I was like, okay, I don't even want to audition. I think neginali imposter syndrome. I can cut it. But I want to feel like the technicalities and whatnot. So it has always been that drive for me to learn and learn.
But I passionate radio in the beginning.
From back in the days, from when I was a kid, from the inquisitivity and then it escalated to and yeah, that's how it developed.
Who's on radio at this time that you think we may know or anyway just inspired you, like that person who had
so many people ke ne ke batla ho ba multifaceted. So in developing that particular a skill, you need to be diverse. You need to always, from BBC to SAFM to Metro FM to the then Bob Radio to even Hana Radio, Hana Lesedi FM ne le bitswang kana go Radio Lesotho. Yeah. Leona Radio Lesotho. I was inspired by the likes of Ntate Dada Moqasa mono, Ntate Reko Phatela, Bratumisang. He knows inspired me a lot.
Nice.
So ne ke nka lemona and sort of to see hore na hana nka khona hore ntwe e molde hantle to establish a brand that is Dallas T. Na itla khona ho fihla wrong. Yeah.
I feel like that could work for artists as well.
It could.
But do you think it's happening? Do you think, can you see it in some artists to say, okay, Mutina, ukopanse style mona le mane aba iketsa ntwa high?
In some. What's about into academia high failed institution in fell. It also in your brains.
True.
When nakona ka fell. When you, like I said, always be inquisitive. Ask yourself questions. When you come across honorable project. So the project is called the Rap Archives Project, right? We are documenting music in Southern Africa, like from your Zambia, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Mozambique. Beautiful. We want to learn about the commonalities when it comes to script writing using indigenous languages. And that's some of the dopest things that we come across, like, oh, I didn't tell you, and there's a deeper meaning. This is what it means. This is so cool. And then so many artists, like established artists, especially in different genres, from jazz, whole jazz. Don't underestimate jazz. Jazz is like the foundation of many genres.
True.
So they take that and then they deepen it into a script that will best fit their storyline.
I see.
So you always need to learn how to mugambi, how to tsidiso, and then try and fuse that into a meaningful something that will Swahili, because Swahili is an official language in Africa.
True.
It's a deeper meaning. And
again, the element of songwriting in this country is low in that we're not bringing in the skill of language into it. And we work our own language, like the play of word, and there's not even one way of doing it. One way of speaking. There's not one way of saying one thing. There are many ways of saying it. So I don't know. I guess in a way, the songwriting is just not challenged.
What's
so to speak?
You know how? And I get controversial for such statements, but I will say it anyway. When you're a musician, your role is not just to release music, produce music, and write music. It's also to inspire. Leave a mark, right? When I went to the tape, he left a mark, an indelible mark for that matter.
True.
An iconic one. You know why he did it? Because you know why? He there has to be a meaning. Happy.
Sure.
It will inspire you know what I mean? So those who failed, it was a narcissistic approach. I just want to be well known and that's it. It ends there. You know what I mean? I don't want to inspire anybody. I'm going to inspire them. Now I was inspired by Jay-Z. I was inspired by Kanye. I was inspired by Talib Kweli. You know what I mean? We talk each time when you get somebody who inspires you, you talk on Melepil, and then establish your ethnicity, establish your background, and then there was an instance where Hansekile Radio with the other radio station. I'm not necessarily stagnant, but I need to be off the microphone. You know why I wanted to do that?
This is ultimate. Also off the microphone.
Hey,
this is ultimate.
You know why I did that? Apart from other responsibilities, managerially.
Hey, yes, sir.
Anyway, and to ha ke santsane ke nana go ke a chesa je a go re ke batla talent e chesa mo mfeta e be le nna mollo o ka hara fuba saka ke ntse go sia ho bona mo.
And you did. You definitely did.
Yeah, that's why I contributed to brands that are now brands.
Whose idea is, guys, haretseng radio station e buang sekgowa ha ile mona signal ya Sesotho Radio Lesotho at the time, and who's pioneering that establishment of the radio?
It's a story that goes as back as the 60s.
Whoa.
There used to be a project Highlands Radio during the establishment of Radio Lesotho. So there was
I remember the jingle.
No, it was shelved. Implement. It was a pending project.
There was a jingle.
In Radio Lesotho. So an idea, you know what? Harry atameleng melata. Ka hore hantse re fana ka ditaba. Ho no be le senyesemane. So Radio Lesotho initially conservative. Hore ke Sesotho. Ke ila ba at a later stage house go sona ditaba tse ba lwang ka senyesemane. Right? So ho ba le project eno e design no jolo ka bo BBC.
Okay.
Hore ho tlotla ho ba le simultaneously selma se seng parallel selma se seng se buang senyesemane.
Okay.
Ya ba neng during the reign ya bonta Tom no don't do that as it is Radio Lesotho is lisa batho kae demographic eno sentse ne paetse e tla ya Radio Lesotho e tla fella mono. What you are sleeping on is the virtue of young people hungry for radio, hungry for youth content.
Okay.
But Radio Lesotho, Radio Lesotho, and then there was nothing. So kimona mo eleng hore ho la thwe bitsang bona batho bana ba phaphambo radio mona bona ba ipitsang bo Dallas T bana bo le Khulbi bana bo Miss P bana le ba kenya ka mona ha le fitla ka mo le bua le bona le ba letsoga ntwina yeo le etsang bana no nga lona e fetuleng se a le moya. That's when myself and those other two, Miss P, may her soul rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
That's when we were somehow engaged in the project. Project. Yeah.
So it's just the three of you.
It was just the three of us under the leadership of Mel Rato Tsosan at that time. Yeah. And then hi, that's in
I want a small. As long as you're not getting sick, bro.
Yeah. So ebe hobale ntweno ya hore now we embark on this project, and then mandate this is the situation, this is what's expected from you guys.
What year is this?
See how you make this. It was in 2006.
Okay.
See how you make this thing happen. And then I was so excited. I was so flipping excited. I can't even remember the first thing I did when stepping out of that office. Started out with
what was exciting you? Kind of the establishment of this project.
Yeah, the establishment. Yeah, like
long overdue.
Dream project, like long overdue. Like so at that time I was really hooked on so many commercial radio stations, and I sort of wanted to ke bona gore le Lesotho mona ne ke na le tumelo gore there's huge immense talent in Lesotho. So ke batla fela hore le rona ntho re bona hore ra ya tlisa ya ba ka nnete re a tswela ka ntle. So we had an assignment ya hore bonana li etsa jwang, and then just the fun part of working with Melrato Susan was that ona sa impose letho ona sa dictate tsele ne re tsamaya re sebetsa ka yona ola re tsang fela hore you guys are young, you're fresh, you know what's happening ka ha o drop ya Maseru Lesotho, you've done your research le a tseba na ho etsa bang in the industry and you've been around for some time. Remember at that time le Daddy Cool Daddy Cool kana go nne tsele LL Cool B and then he was already a legend from Radio Lesotho,
of course.
So then we spoke about talent, like okay, there's talent in there. Now my angle was, apart from snatching from other radio stations, was unleashing.
So you're responsible to suggest or to actually recruit people.
Yeah. So we started recruiting people.
Nice.
Now I wanted fresh talent. I wanted, that unleashed talent. I wanted people whom you've never even heard of.
Sure.
Your likes of, I remember coming across your Nomsa Hohlo. Nomsa nenzile chireng offense go kopana le yona sthala fela go bua monate bona. She's an advocate.
Okay.
So Nomsa, and then my cousin Tabi Rose Tabile Mateti.
Nice.
And then Mr. Maps. Mr. Maps at that time was just a producer. But I remember he had been instrumental ka establishment there. In fact, ka the functions tsa una ntse le ka nthong ka do buja hopola ine le one of the people at do. But focus ya kana go music, producing music, releasing music. He wasn't even rapping at that time. He was just rapping Modisa FM Monafel. And then Batwaka that's when I came across like mad talent out there, like really, really incredible talent. And then Rakopana Lebo Diboza, Rakopana Lebo's Bonga, Rakopana Lebo. It was crazy. It was the rebirth of the entertainment scene,
yes,
in the radio industry,
yes,
and they kept flooding in, and we came across really Bo Roxy, Bo Lexi, may her soul rest in peace, Bo Legato, so many,
there were a lot of people,
funky, so yeah, that's when it started. That's how it was birthed. We build the synopsis, we build the program structure, we insist on workable equipment. Fast forward 2008, mmuso o mong ha ke tsebe nna ene le mmuso o mong kapa ene leng ba nna ntho e la re depress ha bohloko a kalo
ha o tla thwe mangolo a kae
wa thwe batho ba sena mangolo ba tlameha ho tsamaya gobane ne re sa utlwisisina radio le mangolo di kopana jwang ke nnete they complement each other, but to a point where you would impose hore o tlameha o be le degree hore o bua senyesemane. Ke na le bana ba soka ba matriculate amana ba buang sekgowa ha monate ho mfeta, and I'm a graduate, so what are they saying? But ha ona taba ha re tsweleng pele. And behind every darkness there's a light, there's a blessing, because even that talent that emerged thereafter, bona bo re ba filwe bo Mojo, bo Koni, bo Agatha Yogi, bo Teido. Yeah, bro. What's we were faced with a lot of criticism at that time.
From management,
we were trending with a lot of negativity from the listeners, from everybody, because they couldn't understand how we could get rid of such beautiful talent. But when it was to a point where at that time, there was not the mechanism. It's our Mishara listeners. I'm sure it dropped drastically, like plummeted.
Plus, what like you energy back.
But I remember Daddy Cool and I, we sat down. We said we need to work with what we have.
True.
Because there's no other way.
Because
it's a directive, and let's just make it happen. And we made it happen. We trained those people. They contributed hugely. Some of them never started broadcasting. Haba fihla from varsity. But they conquered. But happy. So they were really brilliant listeners.
Also willing to learn.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember those were the times of the Temanyukule. The Temanyukule would always come down there and give us the time and pressure blind. And I can't believe high. Let's say a miracle. You can't expect unka motho fela mono ga bua radio even within a month or so, but pressure is high because in the end they conquered, they managed to
also pressure
maintain that eloquence, that fluency, that whatever was needed to present. And then as part of the team, we initiated some development activities such as skills development programs, training programs, workshops. The ultimate that it is right now.
Who's pushing the local agenda? Because you, I see you as one of the pioneers of pushing local content, music at that time on radio.
That got me in trouble.
I can imagine.
Back in 2002, I remember that was too early. That was like I remember when I was 100 in the occasion we about the OB outside broadcast. So on the King's birthday, Mati.
Oh, okay.
So Naki Lutsika studio.
Okay.
So you have a hobale interesting about the frequency disruption.
Okay.
From the other end.
Yes.
Ebe. In a sense, it's about the golden rule. And then I started doing the talking. Fortunately, someone was listening.
Okay.
One of the bosses was listening. She was, and at that time she was a manager. She was a station manager.
Okay.
So ebe ho so ba le ntho ga fela ba mpitsetsa officing ba se ba ga ntate ako ntwena ha yena na is Leo Street. Yes, rest in peace.
Okay.
Ebe ba re what's again? Okay, this might work. You just need a bit of training, but there's something there. There's something there. There's a spark there.
That's beautiful.
And their belief in me was just it was the most significantly honoring moment of my life, because next time puts in a radio, and then I started doing the talking, and then there were allocated at the slot.
Nice.
So during the allocation of slots, if you are slot they cool. And at that time, it was the thing.
Yeah.
Right? So who can I attend some one, hakina music,
two, collection.
Two, I wanted to be exactly two. I wanted to be different, like in terms of the approach towards the microphone. Because I hate that. I believe in originality. So I sat down, I thought of ways to sort of try and make the audience understand me, connect with them. But at the same time, get her demographic in, I remember. To a point where one never later, I would do a boga. Then you know what I mean?
Sure.
I was expecting that, fortunately.
Okay.
Because, like I said, in the lead as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
So at the same time, so he had established this connects with various record labels in South Africa, and they would send him CDs every week. CDs. So he had a lot of music.
New music.
So one, ha ke ne ke ka mokopa mmino, ke ne ke tlo duplicate LL Cool, and I didn't want that. Two, I had to settle for music that was already there. So it was a very limited music, especially for young people. And more. And if I'm in a sense about
but are you giving a slot the youth?
Like if we slot sa young people.
Yes.
So there were three guys. Koreka, LK, MC Conundrum, so I batla all the time. Hi. And one I have Nereka production studio. And then I would listen to them. So they say technically let's so if man about Tusa, I re-record some of the material. Already if man it is even power for airplay. Or when body F word, body to a point where I felt like, no man, we're ready to air this things on air. Right? And then I started airing Tsabon ebe ke re tlo le tsa ba bang.
Okay.
And then I ebe ke etsa a bit of digging ke fumana hore Miss P o santsana le di connections tsa bo Papazi, and then I met Papazi le ana mphatsa high.
Nice.
Bo Ntabi ke re mphe nhle bana. I want to play this thing on radio, and then I played it on radio, and then it was an interesting time because the local listenership wasn't ready for that content.
True.
So they called the management to complain. Some of them called management to complain. Hi, Dallas Tinto tsena tsa di bapalang tse ding tsa tsona. Gona ga batla bo Brenda. Ba bona ntho ya idolizer other. Ebe ka nnete ke a khalemelwa. You know what I mean? Othi skanna wa bapala ntho tsena. Ebe ha ke khalengwelwa ka nka ile a positive thing. Ya ba ke bua le technical manager ga ba kana go eno ke re ke kopa batho bana ba ne ba ntshakela. Fela re off air. Ke mamela pina tsena tsa bona. Haebe hona le mogwa hore re di nontshe because we've got the equipment, we've got the softwares. Re di nontshe ha ka ta di nontsha like for mastering purposes and whatnot. Ebe re di fitisetsa ka mane. I remember ke ha o tla bona bo chocolate soul. Le kana go ne ba ipitsa Hypnotica. Eliana, les Gibbs D, le Pasco Dollar. From there, Elebo Papazi. From there, I came across Bodabo Dunamisi, Lebo Commander Obsiba Atlada. Bonakanete, some of them, Bana Sense Batlapina, Bona Sense di le hantle, but se ke bua ka qalong. Ebe ka mora go pina tsena tsa bona di butswe di hlake. Ebe go hona di fumanang airplay. Ebe ha di fumana airplay. Kana go eno ke tsekile on the edge ke lebeletse call but fortunately ibe to a point where I built one of the biggest shows in the country. So in a Tuesday night. So what I did ka ha bane ba sna transport some of these guys. Etc. And then I started getting more deeply passionate about this talent scouting thing to a point where I started touring countrywide, everywhere. How na mo ke sa fitlang? Ke fitla. So fortunately, the radio station couldn't sponsor me with transport. The accommodation. So I would cut deals with Bemba Bodiba ka hore now tsa ha ka nthusa fela ka umphe holo mamma ngampe ebe ke bua le bo PSI bo New Start wa pola na HIV kana go ne le kutsiwa ne le picking ya teng so ke re lona ke tlo le fa di slot ha ntse ke thabisa batho ba ebe ho ntso ba le bo di performance mo le di DJ lona letle ebe le bua ka taba with the HIV and whatnot. It was great. It was phenomenal. And then it worked. It was like match made in heaven. Yeah.
That was actually so damn clever. So then that's when also so kuzu so khalengwe so gona
was agro DJ back and a whole lot of rappers
because we had an era in Libelang kana go telele ya
there was like mad rap game back then from your Dunamis to your Commander Ops. Then it escalated to body tricking ga kopana le body protagonist and silent fate mang. So they came through in numbers. Where my P have a fihlile lore ehlile hono so na le a significant collection of immense talent. Shout out to Tidiso. Tidiso has always been my little brother. Because the connection we built from the first day we met, a humble guy from Upper Volta, Akenada, Hata school, Nakena school Fukuti, doing his first year. Tidiso Mnaheng, Koreka.
Oh
yeah. So hard one. Oh yeah, hard one. What Tello Dallas T Leballo. So hard one. He would rock up at the studio, assist with jingles.
I see.
This new cats like Ufman. I really discover Alibabang, Babu Cape Town, South Africa, Bokai Fela Lebasutu. And yeah, batla ba le bangata fela bo wena Mpho Brown bo Kislev kana go Mpho Brown and say pizza poltergeist ya bana nne go pizza Minister Paul ya bana nne go pizza Mpho Brown and many other really mad, crazy rappers. Batla mono. So that's when I decided to genre in hip hop, and then I built Hakile Ultimate. I built a movement called, it wasn't a radio show, it was a movement called Hip Hop Cafe.
Hip Hop Cafe. I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah. That's when I created a platform for these cats.
But why do you think hip hop was the one in the in terms of local production in our age? Because about gospel and famoto, they were already moving. But when it comes to this urban music, hip hop was the only genre in the was it because of the influence in South Africa where hip hop was also taking over? Kapa fokola ka housing ka mo ka di R&B ka other things.
I think hip hop is a way of life. It's self-expression. I think the hunger to
say something.
To say something.
Right?
Yeah. I think that too. With other genres, there were complexities in terms of the software. Otherwise, you would recommend live bands. For instance, in the jazz category, what worked in a live band? And a live band, you need the whole house, from your keyboard to your guitar to your drums to your whatnot. So, Fruity Loops, True. One-stop shop to creating like a simple beat. But the fact that they were able to spit on them, so the culture. So it is a influence from the South Africans, because I know so many rappers that could even rap better than most of the South African rappers.
True.
But in two, demographic, I can ultimate. It's a case here hip hop is bigger than gospel or famo. They would tell you to your face how we need.
Ultimate.
Exactly. So it was more of an elite platform for everybody to sort of.
Were you at Ultimate? You remember? I'm sure you've seen the clip. There was a hip hop rapping competition, and then this guy is flowing. You know it.
Each time I see,
go.
Each time, no. Actually, that was on Radio Lesotho. Actually, it wasn't on.
Really?
Yeah, that was on Radio Lesotho. So it was. Vodacom was doing.
Yeah,
sort of your. Yeah, remember?
I saw the branding.
So as part of that, they would take them to different radio stations and ask them to freestyle. So, not sure if, I believe the guy behind the mic was Tesby. Not sure if Tesby gave out the memo. Guys, no cursing. Kappa, when you go all out, it's like guns blazing and whatnot.
You know, basically, actually, I'm trying to say. Crack my ribs out. That like, yeah. And the presenter, it has been. I don't think it has been.
Yeah,
but he's like, yo, it's like, yo.
Exactly. and really, man, shout out to Vodacom. Vodacom has been one of the most instrumental brands in establishing and recognizing talent and unleashing it, really. Because of campaigns like the Vodacom Superstar, of which I was honored to be a judge for 5 consecutive seasons.
Beautiful.
5 consecutive. Bruh.
And rightfully so, though.
Talent. And we came across fresh talent. And I think it's because of them that we now recognize most of these cats, like Kili. And by the way, Megahertz. Megahertz, most people discovered Megahertz through Hip Hop Cafe. Hip Hop Cafe.
Oh, yes.
We used to host so many cats there, and then all of a sudden, Megahertz who's hungry for spitting, and he would spit and spit. ha I say evolve meanwhile he can't, that dude can rap.
No,
Like can rap.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So there were sessions, the profiling session, then the freestyle session, which is more like your cypher session, where those cats would like gather around and spit their whatever.
Hip Hop Cafe, how it was a movement. How did it go beyond radio?
Out there, we used to have gigs body talent da. I used to have a movement back in the days when we almost like invasion.
Yeah,
I had solicited deals with Dukes Singanga,
Yes,
Momulimi, WHP Maseru, rest in peace. Le Cooley, Nile Duxi, WHP, Kulichana. There was a fifth one.
There was a dude. But now I think but he's not coming with the name. Rap. Damn it. But he was not that. But
there were so many of them.
Movement.
There were so many of them. Bozus. There were so many of them. Like so they would never get out of Lesotho. So an annual spring show. Where even before Victoria,
really?
It started as a very small thing.
Okay.
Hostel about Italian money. This thing is growing, and then another one. Film blooming place. Ntomane, kina lady.
Na lady, sure. Sure.
Let's go all out, guys. And then the last edition. Victoria. Poolside, yes. It was huge. How does that grow DJs in Hilton lineup?
That's why I know everything about that. That was the biggest.
So this guy's kanete ba supportive ya whole the movement, and they would really rock up. It wasn't really about the money back in the days. It was just about music and deep passion for the arts. In return of Manor Lebona Banseba recreated the opportunities this cat's Bible Botswana.
Okay.
Biting. And then Cameramun why resides India? What's about it? Why don't do? What you know what I mean?
Work out the ultimate music awards.
Yeah.
What a beautiful thing that really shook the industry and motivated artists from all genres.
My brother, it was.
Where did we drop the ball?
We'll get to that. Okay, so here is how it started.
Yes.
We every now and then we had one-on-ones, or we had like an audience session with our director general. In terms of where we are, where we'd like to see ourselves in the next 10 years, where we might have flawed in terms of growth and mechanisms, or steps that we can embark on in order to grow. It be high
Okay.
But Niki at that time LNDC Niki bona ka bale ntuna ya kali le e ka ke le mo
ultimate.
No.
Your ideas.
The artistry.
I see.
The local,
okay.
the Lesotho artistry, the talent in the country, the music in the country. Brainstorm ana ga ka etsa wang be se ke kopa ke hi and then ne ke kope ka mo go ka nke a tshaba tsheng ka ga re tseng di awards. And then interestingly, I got a nod, like, hell yeah, let's do it. And then we launched the first ever Ultimate Music Awards.
Bro.
We embarked on intense research, Mabatu and I. And shout out to Mabatu. Mabatu was very supportive of that. Mabatu is always one of those bosses that are eager to learn all while pursuing something. If she wants to achieve something, what I achieve Mabatu.
And she did.
And only at management level who convince her, the higher power re batla ho tlotla re promote the artist re batla ho tlotla re etsang because it's something new and we are not even sure if it was aligned with the mandate, but it's something new. But I push out, then we embarked on this research. Ra connect South Africa. Hey, bra tshepa re tsheetsa ka mono re thabile. Shout out to Abdi Tumisang as well. Kana kono no bilona ntsa le Pretoria. I remember he hosted us. Khentse re chaka report bo matli. Ga kopa le bo matli ka mono le bo mang. So many humble people who were excited by the whole venture. Ebe re khona hore jwale at production level connect make this thing happen. And then it happened. And fast forward Hana Zagro DJC winning. Was it in 2013, 14?
I don't even remember the year, but I think it was the second before the last. I think the last two. The last one, actually.
Ka 2017, here's what happened. Nna ke tla buela la hlakore la ka. 2017, ne se ke se active ya holo on the Ultimate Music Awards because I was focusing on other things.
Okay.
The first one was school. I was doing a low-key studying. The second one, my mom's health wasn't really that good, so I ke laba ka ba kwa kopa le monga ka hore ke kopa nne ke shebane le ke bona go lady ba mmoja. Fortunately, she passed on the very same year. And she passed on at least 2 weeks.
I don't think fortunately is the right word, but I think I understand you're coming. It's Anne.
Anne.
Yes.
Hey, Anne, unfortunately, she passed on the very same year. And ibile hape
which is this one? No,
mohlang o 2017, the last edition ya teng.
Okay.
Ebe ka mora mo le nna as a person, I introspected. I needed growth. I needed more. I felt like everything was stagnant at that time. And when you are in an institution where you have like a whole lot of people, but when you need to pursue something, high suena a ring ha whole.
And consistently so.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the leadership flaws at that time that I attained. All the time. Let it be somebody else. Let it be our colleagues. Let it be the support. Happy. So I missed controversies at executive level. Babona ba spend haholo ho feta to gain. Usually even nana kwena ka ofela ntse ke tlameha ho etsa show course. You understand?
Okay.
It was really difficult. And then I decided hore what's king. Eriki ne ke sheba nata ba school then clicketse bo bona hore na ho etsa la bang but I was planning my exit strategy. It was my exit plan hore na motho ya pele one. And then fast forward 2017, 2018, 2019, that's when I decided to embark on a project that is Sky Alpha HD.
Are you saying Utsamaile di awards
basically 2017. Ya ba nna ke tsama 2019.
2018
I wasn't really interested. In fact, also I was studying at that time. And I was doing I was doing a lot of research projects in terms of the digitization and the inevitability that we are headed to the digital space. So neki ntho le ngwe in essence ke ha ke na le kelelo ya hore ha ke tswa mona ke batla ho etsa channel. So I was trying to in exit strategy ya ka hore ne ke plan na ke tswa.
Basically ultimately I wasn't alone. And the fact that you didn't push 2018 because when you didn't push
in the Ministry of Communication, Science and Technology through the Ultimate Radio, not Dallas T.
I know Dallas T, guys. I'm telling you.
No.
Now I know why the Ultimate Awards are not there.
No. Yeah, but
let me tell you one challenge that we went through in 2017. That's the last one. In the convention center, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the one in the Winnie producer.
I wasn't even there.
Yeah, I remember the last one. You were not there.
Yeah.
Push it a fella.
Yeah, pre-production leveling negiliting.
Yeah.
And then I was busy trying the arrangement at that time. So I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But can it my mates on air now I was just happy for the winners. I didn't care about what was happening on the ground behind the scenes. I was just happy for the winners,
Gewin.
Yay.
Rentse ding. Rentse conference ya nene re fuwe di cheke, re posa ka tsona, re fuwe phofu. Wa etsa taba ya phofu yo. Segway phofu tse di tsa tlontlola batho ba ngata. Let me tell you what happened. Shout out to Flour Mills for that. But ne di lingata. Di kalakani. So you know na artists na income re jwang. People couldn't take body cable. They're not prepared. It was not nice.
It's really not nice when big concepts
but it was just a logistical error.
Di fela ka mogolo in shambles. But ke gola nna ntwe ke tla e bua from my perspective because those people really tried. One, how o sebetsa o le part of that particular system. Ha ho bonolo hore o justify ntho tse ding jolo ka ntho tse kambo ke kopela batho bana tšhelete mmuso ona tšhelete ke kopela batho bana dithuso you know what I mean and ke ntuna ke reng re le bo Flour Mills bo Vodacom. I remember during the second
Standard Bank was there. Actually, they were the ones who did the cash prize.
Perfect.
Shout out.
Bohle ba ke ntse le tsoka nnete ke ntse ke re pele ya pele ebile ke ntse ke batla motho e mong ya nang le kelello le matla hore a tlo kopana le nna diawa tse di tswele pele at their own personal level kapa whichever level, even if it's at corporate level.
Wa bua jwale
nna ke tla thusa mong ka kgona go thusa teng because with such things and remember the summers di ntse di tsa ba le hiatus le bona ya bo kapela ba bo 5 years hona le mo di tsa emisa teng ha hona matsoho dutla a sebetsa so ha hona mona le bothata. What we need to do go fela re ithute ka se etsaetseng ka Ultimate Music Awards and then let's entle se etsaetseng ka teng and then re nke tsena tsentle jwale re ha re se re le ereng ena ya hona ba le tsena and then take that thing to the stars. I believe it will be a benevolent campaign which is guaranteed to pass provided re tsogana ka matso bothata ke bone re le Basotho ninning emelemong re na le menahano ya go menahano ya gona but the commonality if something is for the good of the country, Nigeria is making big dough with the arts. You understand?
As in economy wise.
Nice. Chris Brown no I'm on for a feature. Rick Ross the same thing. Drake the same thing.
Just the feature.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of money. Guy. Nigeria. So the same thing in even in South Africa. Why can't it happen here? Because the very same talent is in Nigeria, in Mona. I remember last week in Kenya, and guys, let me tell you the 4 countries, in fact the 5 countries that I visited. Kenya, Zambia, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. The biggest genre was again. No, Mozambique, not Mozambique, but Botswana. What's one again? Kima piano. Why?
Sure.
But how mamela pina tsabona? So if we can apply Africa, the complex issue and believe in us. No offense to my piano. My piano is like the dynamite out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how to a degree where you can establish your own genre and make it work with your people. Understand?
Do we have a genre?
Guy. Lesotho mo. Ke tle ke letsa le lona Lesotho lena la haiso.
General Lesotho ke famo.
Famo works.
This is what we own.
Famo works. I missed putting aside the controversies and whatnot. It works. But once there's hip hop and Leona
customize.
My point is, if you have Afrobeat working for Nigeria, and you have other genres working for other countries like Malawi and whatnot, why can't we make it? So ntwe happy. Let's have our own thing.
Let me ask you, do we have a music system? Do we have a music ecosystem, or a music system, or a fueled and oiled music industry?
We have duplication. We don't have that. And I'll tell you why. For everyone and anyone, I remember there's a verse from Koreka. And in order to get a glory, one has to cross the border. That's we have duplication to that degree. Each time you produce something, you're considerate. And it's a smart move, really, because when you look around with infrastructure or lack thereof, usually what am I going to have to fall back on if I was to establish this as my full-time career? And the ecosystem, first of all, there has to be an industrialization. Now within that industry, infrastructure invested on. A talent aside, you understand? So how you get excited when your song is playing on Lesedi FM as opposed to Radio Lesotho. We have a problem. It's playing on Metro FM as opposed to Africa FM. We have a problem. If we keep, and everybody else, we keep on insisting on promulgations of, laws, proper laws that protect, whenever you hear your song on air, copyright laws and other laws, some royalties. But had you slow, but had you to that degree where Thank you. It'll contribute to the GDP, it'll contribute to so
families will be fed.
Thanking that. So Hanseri, and like I said, Haki Kwateli Stana Hasa Dula Kwana, Kwateli Malume Vector, Hasa Tilitsi Kwana, Kwateli Man. Hobane, Liban Kotelunga, there's gotta be bread that's put on the table.
Sure.
So how osahone hububea how lehai mona kanete, we need to be considerate. Bona ketse mohlala ka ntweng yana, you do a one-man show Lesotho mona. Ya khwehla. With a showman ebile guest artist. How hla mono the whole of the province northwest. How are you ready for Stana? Everybody's on some. Yeah, but some lyrics it's a high time so you know what I mean? So appreciation, but you need to appreciate what's there. It's not just talent that you can appreciate. Remember, behind every musician, there's a producer, there's a composer, there's an instrumentalist, there's a stage manager, there's a publicist. So don't undermine those other people only because and can you make that happen from your own vicinity? Not in Lesotho.
True.
Kinto not of mana Lesotho mana mutu mara kids and twengulung. Why bukela? We get a CD radio stationing. We get a show.
Why transport? Why kapesa?
We get a twengulung. Lady sponsor atena na ukena ngola na kemo no ipatela. The proposal, everything. Hobane. That ecosystem we establish a proper and well-structured, a substantial industry.
Jale, only the music industry and in your time. You were the ecosystem.
Can I say that I tried? I contributed where I could. And I guess one of the smartest moves that I did in contributing was to engage everyone, like the key players, everybody. Hono se bonolo, but nikijuza go pride na ka gesi ya haka kwana. Ke a kena le bodi shopo mona ke a kena the establishment mona ga batlana le collaboration. We collaborate and then we see how best we can work together. So it boils back to the point of working together. If it's not a collaborative approach, it doesn't work.
Timeke when he was doing when he was doing MIP, like he said, I'm bringing you guys, here's my facilities, here are my resources, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
And then he says, in the past episode, o tlameha hore ne sentse ba mo etsetsa backlash and say ai o ja tjhelete kapa o se disetsa ntho tse itseng. You know, that bad energy. Did you get that? Now that you were the industry, did you still get people?
Yeah.
Dallas T.
Yeah, a lot. Like insinuations of exploitations, insinuations of favoritism. You get that everywhere. You get that everywhere.
What does it do to you now that you're having this local music promotion movement in your heart?
It crushes your soul.
Yes.
Considering the amount of dedication and everything else that you invest in soliciting everything that's happening in the arts industry, and you get that. Like friends of mine, screenshot because they depress me. 1 minute you work harmoniously with, and I can blame some of them. Mental health issues ka ona hakamona. Kana le bothata ba ntho tse ngata. Kana le bothata ba batho ba bipolarism. Kana le bothata ba
general
depression,
stress, overwhelmed,
stress.
Yeah. And we're not dealing with them properly.
I want you to imagine an artist ohirile. I believe in this thing. I believe it's gonna work.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So the time I am fit to now. Kaneta how Osama Mele Tabatzak. It's all over computer scientist. This thing is working for you. Because you are in your 20s. Utonyala. Okubone. Sama awu na wezawang. Ebe muteno no olofisha a hirabuka eka. Mon wa hiranting. O patala rente. O tlameha reke equipment. O tlameha iketse mini staging yana hae ka corner ya bedroom ya hae kapa wherever. He needs to make ends meet. So some of them basically bana le bana. O tlameha nne baby mama kapa mamang. O tlameha ha fihle ka dijo. Like ends meet in general.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the same time, it's not easy. It's not easy though. Kintwena ba bamba bona ba kopana le mathata ao. Ekare re ka ba le ditsi tsa tlhabollo tsa mahala. Tsa dibini tsa rona, tsa mmino wa rona. Tse leng hore ha o kopana le bothata ba mofuta ofe kapa ofeng, o tla ba tla o dudisa fatshe, take you through the process and sort of try and meet you halfway ka ditlhoko tsa hao. E le go ba lokise kelello ya hao. Because batho bana they committed suicide, and it's not just in Lesotho. Not just in the music scene. Holy, the
same situation.
Thank you. Exactly. So,
and Uncle Fifth was talking about it. Or we need like a musicians counseling.
Exactly.
Place.
Yes. If we can have that.
Yeah.
Mohlomong it's hitswa ke mmuso wa rona kapa mang kapa mang. Gaskera mohlomi imetswe. Na motho mo nantsa a manya mohlomi imetswe. Imagine every second person with mental issues ebe nakona ka fela they get themselves checked in at mohlomi. Na ke boima bo jwa mono. Ha ba fitla mono ke mathata a fapaneng.
A fapaneng because emong o last week you get with something.
Exactly.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Honale mong ehling motho mona da strina.
Exactly.
And they're going to one facility. Come on.
Yeah, so
so is that what made you not take these things to heart?
Oh, I see. Yes, exactly. To answer your question, yes. Yeah. That's what made me not take it to that depth level. However, if now it affects my family, now it becomes a problem. It says
how so?
It says
affects family also. Manzi.
If your mental attitude, if your mental health,
yes,
is if you've got mental health issues, I see. You know what I mean?
I see. So
because you're not being fair on my end.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And everyone is human.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So ning ke ntho ena o tla fumana hore slowly ke la ka re, "Hi, let me step back and sort of get other people."
Jwale
o nahane boima ba bona kaofela bo tla mothong a le mong. We used ne re na le hore bonenne le Miss Pina ke re isane go out for some coffee and try and re shebe na re ka etsa jwang,
Okay.
re tshetsana jwang.
Yeah.
But o go bone motho a sa le pela ha sa a hlokahala le yena. Jwale the pressure ke ne le some other people. I mean, le batho ba bangata be o tla fumana ntse ba founela le bua. But o go bone you can't keep bothering same people. Mohlala go ketse mohlala o bonolo fela. Ha good times in ntse le mono. Na kwena ka fela ke letsa practice. Ning di talent ke letsa bo hops le bo leshe da hore ai bontate, let's host this guy sa re bone na ho etsa la wang. The little le re tla etsa gating ba tla ya gola ka fela ha ona taba. O go bone, but really it gets tiring when it's repetitive and there are no gains tseno tse visible tse leng go qetellong ya letsatsi, cause batho ba tla lla ntse gore ha ona mohla batho ba ka khotsofalang kaofela. So
ke bona o bua ka Miss P, and I'm thinking you actually worked closely with this person and you worked under passion.
Yes.
How have you been dealing in this time with these losses? You mentioned Miss P, you mentioned Lady, and I'm sure there were still some other people on the way.
There were.
How are you dealing with it?
It hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
But they call it a cliche, but we need to accept at the end of the day. And seeing the shift in the industry due to that gap that she left. It hasn't been easy. And many other people really. It's not just her. Seeing the shift in the gap that they left. It hasn't been easy, but life needs to move on. And fortunately, in as much as that, I miss them profusely every day. But you know what I mean? So let me do the best I can to sort of carry on the baton to the next one. So anybody can tell you the loss of your loved one is not a good thing. It doesn't strike you well. But you think about it every day. But what we need to do is just to keep on keeping on. Amidst all challenges. And I think also too, count your blessings. I'm surrounded by the most amazing wife.
Beautiful.
Thinkable.
Yeah.
Kids. They're amazing.
Nice.
The current endeavor, Gore, as a having delved into the digital space, it's been amazing for me because every time I get into my email, I get invites to summits and conferences and whatnots. Guest speaker, I contribute somehow. We talk about, the whole transformation from the analog to the digital space, and every day digital space. Like what's about podcasting, I'm gonna get simulcasting, the audio visual, like AI. There's a lot happening in the digital space.
Traditional, but having to do it digital.
Exactly, now. And literally the compliment you are so having that experience, the terrestrial technology versus the digital technology. But profile of it. I've been to so many countries where contribution happy and the connects I make. So it's been wonderful, really. So you need to count your blessings. You need to consider every little thing that happens in your life as a positivity. Just shift them aside and focus on your focus.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
This experience that you're getting, the training, and in fact the experience you already have and what you're already acquiring internationally, how are you bringing it back to Lesotho? Or is it even possible? Is there even a platform for you to bring it back to the country?
What's about when I embarked on a concept called Sky of HD, I told myself one thing. I said, this is not a business model. It is more like a project that welcomes the transformation from the analog side or from the traditional media side to the digital media side. Because the media is wide, right? So it is an opportunity for us to all the time probe the digital space. Get into it, explore everything that has to do with digitization. So yes, the question is really relevant because there are still challenges. I remember I was in Kenya just last week. We held a very prolific summit, just celebrating the digital space. The other time I was in Zambia, also with DCN, doing the same thing. The other time I was in Malawi, I remember doing the same thing. The other time I was in Namibia. So dinaga tsena tse qetang ho di bolela hona le tse ding hape ba tsena tse qetang ho di bolela ke di bolela hobane ke hlokometse hore ba se ba le pele. Even in South Africa, really Cape Town, a below fit. Ba se ba le pele. So now ho khwaela ntho tse nka fela bile di imetse ka mahetleng ho di tlisa Lesotho mona is not easy because Lesotho mona everything that we do in the digitization space is 10 years too soon, unfortunately. So we
10 years too soon.
Yeah. Sure. So how can we get there? It be the other guys ba lega, but really
there's a majority.
Community, majority of community in selling to monabore in the leto. So what I never nanya about Facebook, but we'll get there. So where you can overly influence it le motla o so le sio because do not get someone how le ngwana how
True.
Sky of HD ke se itse nna understand le bana ba thwana be re se tsana mona mo they know this is the future, right? So hona ba le tjena ha ona le baka la hore be khantse re ha rena di free streaming tsa content e o twinke of national interest. Anything that is of national interest, if it's an issue, it needs to be disseminated freely. How eventually to kena app ya Sky Alpha HD wa patala. Why would you do that? Because that's a live radio. You need that information. You need everything that's happening there. Why how streamer podcast ya Allegro Africa ebe wa patala. You understand? So how can we get there real quick? It's still an issue that needs to be addressed cautiously because the player has there's old blood as well. And I really give another powers that be.
True.
So you need to convince her that those OGs when that they are slow.
Digital appetite. Like, is there a word? Because I want to ask you, what have you seen as digital appetite, Lesotho?
Digital appetite. Elaborate.
Because we are the podcasts. You are doing live streaming radio.
Yeah.
But there's also other things that are supposed to be digitized that are not even media but we are still morale.
Let me tell you a funny story. Kenya right now, it's even a political thing because Kenya is making a lot of money with agri-tech.
Okay.
They are using technology to explore and exploit other ways to ensure that the agricultural sector sustains. You understand? But how we got digital appetite? I remember back in 2019, ne re na le cabin e bitswa Trans app. So you would just get on the app, I need a cab. You need an Uber, you need anything, it's on the app. But more than until for one, all the way.
Straight.
Until for one.
Straight.
And it really, Obana market o saturated one. What by in the transport sector by register to Uber, register to InDrive, register to other okubuni. Fast fella. O tse boneng ha ke na airtime fela ke tlamela letsa mfana ka mona o go run lata ke Maseru tlabo mona ke batla ya hae. Why do we do that when we're supposed to just rebele app nyana fela e leng gore le bona ba fana bana ba bo di 41 ba bo imbana le tsona, because like I said o ka ba le 41 fela o ntse le register te mono ebe ha o stakile kana go nngwe o sa foli mo ho ba le errand engwe hlokang go yetse, you just at the comfort of your obone. So such nimpa ke tsa mhlala fela ke re ho ntsona ntho tse ngata tse le go we really need to
tsere mo ga ntongolongwe lo.
But we'll get there.
But as much as you're saying Sky Alpha is not a business, but there is a business architect that you need to bring there. There's an element of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How has that journey been for you? From being employed at the radio for about 20 plus years, people so businessing, have people under your employ, have expenses, fixed, variable. How has that been?
It hasn't been friendly at all.
Friendly is the right word.
It hasn't been friendly at all. And do you remember when we started Oscar Alpha HD, there were so many people there? There were like thousands of them. There were so many.
A whole lot of support, actually.
But you know, the injustice that I did to those people was not to properly orient them before they embarked on a mission or on the project called Sky Alpha HD. So, loyalists, those are the people that understand the fundamentals of Sky Alpha HD and the functionalities. I guess it's more like I built a family as opposed to a business.
I see.
We understand each other. We understand our prospects. We so whenever there are challenges, one and two and three. And also two, the modality. We have a very interesting modality at Sky Alpha HD. Sky Alpha HD is actually it's a home ground for everyone. So you've got a podcast, you register it under Sky Alpha HD, you do your money. You don't give Sky Alpha HD any monies. You've got a show, you do your show at Sky Alpha HD. You don't. If you've got an advertiser for that particular show, you do your things. You don't give Sky Alpha HD anything, right? Leona, fela yona ka nqilion. Hive mana business. How business ere ke batla ho sebedisa motho as an on air whatever personality for my particular product. The person gets a buck for that. So what we are trying to do is let's focus on less gain for the establishment and not more gain for the contributor. Ke family mate, right? So two, also we also need to create other opportunities right there. Other opportunities like ambassador mohlala ina yana ne ke etsile my P gale. But ke kata o etsa le bo LK yona right? Mohlala just try and solicit ambassadorship with these guys for different establishment. Mohlala mamang o sa bua le voice over ya brewery, mamang o sa hla di billboard tsa Vodacom ka pay connect, mamang o sa sebetsa le alliance ya etsa china through Sky Alpha HD. So what we're trying to do, because how ka sheba with radio stations, hi no offense fella, there's no money there. There's no money there.
Hey, bro,
there's absolutely no money there. So I do not want it to get to a point where there's only one person gaining. Which is why if we are officing man or ke batla mokamedi wa mona Dallas T ke batla mono You know why? I do not want them to feel like me as a brand, so I'm making more money by feta. Now I'm pushing my project on the side. And lots of projects like, bruh, I'm on my laptop, and say get a grant application, project, I'm in Cape Town pushing a different project altogether. But sometimes they coexist. Alpha HD, sometimes they don't.
Okay.
The little that I'm making doesn't has its one Sky Alpha HD. E ka mpa banna e booster nko se ba re hae mai ke tsena di kgatetse ke re tshwarang ba fit. Sure. So I think that approach into saure ke ske ka nakona ka ofela ka ba wa re tore these guys bana le bothata bo itseng bona ka nete sometimes they thrive and they smile ba bang ba bona. They're doing good. Kenete hona lo go be le rainy days, but kanete at the end of the day, gantse re le ka re push.
Let's shout out to doing that thing. I think what I've seen ever since I stopped my employment days, proposing or pitching something new to anyone or any sector is the hardest thing ever.
It's not easy.
Ever. Bruh. And it's been years. How many years now, Sky Alpha?
It's been 5 years now.
Beautiful 5 years.
It's been beautiful 5 years now.
And people are in there. We
try.
That's beautiful.
And also I would like to give thanks to the establishment that's supportive. Including the current government. What you are doing there is amazing.
Nice.
Apprenticeship program. So, and those
are the support that you need sometimes from government, and not to say telanchele, but training.
Exactly, yeah.
Give us access to staff.
Thank you. Skira blame my government.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How so?
2019, I got out with Spanish. It took me I was broke. Like I was broke. Generally, the process where they take time.
Oh, yeah.
Kana go no ki launch a project e leng gore everyone we tone tsema hlobane lo ntshwe Dallas T. So ha ke le ka o servisa bohlale bohle bo ke na le bona gore ke mpe ke bona fela gore ga survivor. Ke tla le Victoria, right?
Okay.
So answer Victoria da e bra Thabiso at Lai, may his soul rest in peace. Unfortunately, he was in Durban. Are manna go to wins interesting aki bona marang. What's the scheme of hlalosetsa? Are you know what? Kopana le memo tsewa mo of mane room ya hao o sebetsi. Wena ntho tla metsa fela go advertise those people. Wa fe open slot ba advertise.
Beautiful.
No worries for rent. Ha re bile monate 2019, 2020, wa hlaha ditaba tse ngata tsa magotla le Victoria ho fihlela jwale mmuso o qetelletse o hapa Victoria. Ya ke bitse hapa ke tsena le ntsule nepaetseng ke le feng. The government took over.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So that means management wa change ntengwe ya change, right? So during that transition, now we need to reintroduce ourselves. Khatlameha ho etsa di pitch botjha, khatlameha ho apply botjha di model operational model tsena tsa rona khatlameha re bontsha rona arrangement in ile ina. Unfortunately mine was declined. As a result we were kicked out. So yaba ke a hisumane mohala ditwe. Kana go it was a shabby house ka nne tobane ne so ka eba le ntho tse ngata. Ebe ke a sheba hore now with the little I have, how can I fix this house? Ke bona hore ke tlo sebeletsa monana.
Nice.
So much that kala hlona ke mohala ditwe ke toropong o ka nnete ibile boholo ba dibaka tseno tse mono le se le business sector
ho
ba high city man le bo pela heso mono. That's when Sky Alpha HD moved to mohala ditwe hona ba la tsena ha fitla mono ka nnete re la ga fumana mahlono lo itse business compound e se le golo go re se le golo e se le hantle. We are happy. re se re sa tshwenye ka ditaba tsa bo di rent ena you know because ntho engwe e bolang dikgwebo tse ngata ka rona ha ena Lesotho ke rent
we cannot deny that
rent bra ya ka ha ka la ba di 30 fela o tshwarwa ke hloho
and awa re kisa
ka nqena o tlameha o reke metlakase o tlameha o patale batho o tlameha o etseng so it's not easy for any shout out to all the businesses out there tse kgonang hore di atle e be di fete 5 years di ntse di patala rent di ntse di go you know it's not easy and it's never easy fella here
it's not easy skizo ha ke tawetsa ona ka le kokwane le pela etsa Blue Point
I remember
ona tshwa monna nthe na business e na bana what the hell is this
le nna ngile ka fihla mono
ka business
yeah DT's Lounge I opened a pub
oh my god DT's Lounge
yeah it was great it was doing well but then but really the rental issue ning kapa hotman ebe ha bona batho ba tletse jareteng a tjho you know etsang yoko ya ba o sa iketsa le rent I had you tletse na tsama jwale let me pace my broadcasting passion and then I moved into the digital space.
Is that not common though ya motho a vana ka se ba ke ha
tell me about it
goodness
like this nigga is eating good abasatibi
because whenever one people coming in that's what they see guaranteed whenever again but you don't know what's going on
ntho le ngwe nka o ngolla buka mfana ka nga o etsa di challenges tse kopana tsona bophelo but ntho le ngwe e kopana le yona take it as a blessing and learn from it and grow from it so mona mo ke teng mona I mean bra I am flipping Googleable go tla nthola hohle like ke mona mo ke teng ke mathata like the challenges they hanze di tla fela ntse ke di blocka fela ke hata hodima tsona ke udimo yeah
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
And I haven't interviewed you ever in my whole life. It's always been you here.
Right.
The tables have done what?
We are going to, my wife and I, we're going to take a drive to your house soon.
Nice.
For the past 5 years, I haven't done any interview.
Are you serious?
To a point where...
I feel honored. I feel honored.
They're gonna hit you up like, how did you get that guy?
I feel honored.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, really.
Thank you, bro. Now I want to say once again, I've been calling people who have had such an impact in this industry and telling them on behalf of the industry. People like Yana Rebafile, because she was also on radio.
Yeah,
she was also pushing us. Even how no so Oleho's guy. She continued. Nobody can do what you did. Like I said to you, not to industry. You had events for us. That's platform. You had radio. You had advisors. You were recording people. Yes, so not to the whole industry. Go and I don't even think you got back the financial or the even pat on the back that you deserve. So now in front of this internet people, I'm saying Lifetime Achievement Award. You've done really much. And you've done much for me as well. I mean, if Zago DJs wouldn't have went where it went, Brayaka, I think they wouldn't have even been in Allegro. They couldn't have been this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen,
at that time,
one of the most talented vocalist / instrumentalist. Is that a bongo? Yeah,
bongos and the congas.
Yeah. The man is just amazing. And the fact that really the diversity and the approach towards a microphone whenever utla on different journeys because of a song. Because of a song. And you're taking this from a music consultant, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
A music guru.
Ooh.
Scratch consultant. Yeah.
Bro, I want you to. Good things are coming. Sky Alpha, let's push that.
Yeah.
How do I want you to tell people how they get to engage with Sky Alpha, the links and everything.
Yeah, man. Check out our Facebook page. It's Sky Alpha HD. Yeah. And on Twitter, it's at @SkyAlpha_HD. Or get into the website. It's actually a one-stop shop. www.skyalphahd.com. you get an opportunity to stream live. Also, you get other opportunities, including if you would like to just get yourself an app, which is affordable because of the size. Size that thing in a blind. So you can even get the app. There are other streaming platforms that you can find on our page. We've got like 9 now streaming platforms on different websites. Global websites where you can get us. And yeah, man, that's where you'll find everything. Lady analytic report. As per your request, info@skyalphahd.com.
That's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to end this, but everything has to end. Guys. Like I said, the legendary pioneer, the music guru, the entertainment pioneer, the person... But the person who went away with Ultimate Music Awards. Dallas T, ladies and gentlemen, and for me, DJ Allegro, peace.